Look around the world. So many places, good people work their whole lives, stuck. Their kids often end up in the same spot, with the same struggles. It's a cycle that seems impossible to break. Yet, one nation built a system where millions could truly rise, moving past their beginnings. They made a way for regular folks to build something new, from nothing. This huge gap, this stark difference, happened for a reason. So what made the difference? How did one country manage to build a ladder for millions, while so many others just had walls? It's because America didn't just try to fix the old way of doing things. They came up with a whole new system. A solution to a problem that has trapped people for centuries. The idea that you're stuck with the life you're born into. Think about it. For most of history, your path was set from day one. Your family, your social class, that was pretty much your destiny. But America offered a completely different deal. A radical promise that if you worked hard, you could actually get ahead. You could build a new life, a better life. This powerful idea became known as the American Dream. And it wasn't just a nice slogan. It was a real, working system designed to unlock opportunity for regular people on a scale the world had never seen before. So how did they pull it off? What was the blueprint? We're about to break down the specific, often surprising, ingredients that made it all possible. To understand what America got right, you have to see what the rest of the world was getting so wrong. For centuries, nearly everywhere else, your entire life was basically a lottery ticket you got at birth. And almost everyone lost. Imagine being born in Europe in the 1700s. If your father was a farmer, you were going to be a farmer. If he was a baker, you'd be a baker. That was it. End of story. Your last name was everything. It told people where you belonged on the social ladder. And that ladder? It was missing most of its rungs. You couldn't just climb your way up. The whole system was designed to keep the people at the top, and everyone else, well, exactly where they were. Wealth was tied to land, but you couldn't just go buy some. The land was owned by a handful of powerful families who passed it down for generations. The oldest son got everything. Everyone else got nothing. Your talent didn't matter. Your hard work? It mostly just made your landlord richer. The rules were locked in place, and you had zero say in them. You were stuck. This was the world America's founders were looking at. A system that judged everyone by their ancestors, not their abilities. A world that wasted the potential of millions, simply because they weren't born into the right family. And they decided it was fundamentally broken. They came up with a truly radical idea for the time. What if your family name didn't matter? What if we got rid of all the official titles, the dukes and the lords? What if a person's worth came from what they did, what they built, what they contributed? This wasn't just a nice thought. It was a declaration of war on the old way of doing things. They believed that a farmer's son could be smarter and more capable than a king's son. And more importantly, he deserved a fair shot to prove it. So they didn't just criticize the old world's prison. They set out to build something that would tear it down. They designed a country with new rules. Rules meant to break the old cycle of inherited power and create a society where your starting line didn't have to be your finish line. A place where you could actually earn your way to a better life. And the first step was to completely change the rules around the one thing that mattered most, opportunity itself. So how do you do it? How do you build a country where a farmer's son can actually climb the ladder? You start by changing the most basic rule of all. You don't need anyone's permission to try. Think about that. In the old world, starting any kind of enterprise, a shop, a guild, anything, required charters and approvals from the people in charge. It was designed to keep outsiders out. America's answer was to get rid of the gatekeepers. They created a system where the default answer is yes. You have an idea? Go for it. You want to build something? Start building. One of the most powerful and most overlooked ways they did this was by making it ridiculously easy to start a business. I mean, shockingly easy. In the US, the second you accept money for a good or a service, you're basically in business. That's it. You just became a sole proprietor. There's no mountain of paperwork, no noble lord to get a signature from. You just start. This is a huge deal. It lowers the bar to entry to almost zero. And when people wanted to grow bigger or protect themselves, the system was designed to help with that, too. They created simple structures like the LLC, a limited liability company. It sounds formal, but it's basically a single form and a couple $100. What it does is create a wall between your business and your personal life. This is the secret ingredient. It means if your business fails, you don't have to lose your house. You don't have to lose everything you own. This wasn't an accident. It was an engine, deliberately engineered to encourage people to take risks. In the old world, failure meant total ruin. It meant you and your family could end up in a debtor's prison. So, nobody tried anything new unless they were already rich and powerful. But in this new system, failure wasn't a life sentence. It was a lesson. Strong bankruptcy protections were put in place. The idea was that if you tried and failed, you deserved a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. You could get back on your feet and try again. This combination, easy to start and safe to fail, completely changed the game. It unleashed the ambition of millions of regular people. A cobbler could open his own shop without asking a guild for permission. A woman could sell pies from her kitchen and build an empire. It told every single person that their ideas mattered, and more importantly, that they had the right to bet on themselves. It was a system designed not for the rich, but for the strivers. A machine built to turn work and risk into reward on a scale that had never existed before. And the result of all this? It wasn't just a few new businesses. It was the blueprint for an entirely new kind of society. For the first time in history, a country started to build a massive, thriving middle class. This sounds normal to us today, but back then, it was completely revolutionary. In the rest of the world, society was basically two groups: a tiny number of incredibly rich people at the top, and a massive number of very poor people at the bottom. There was almost nothing in between. You were either born into a castle or a cottage, and that was that. But this new American system started to fill in that giant gap. It created a ladder where there used to be a wall. Suddenly, a regular family could do more than just survive. They could save. They could buy a small plot of land. They could own their own home. This wasn't a fantasy for them. It was a real, achievable goal. This wasn't just about money. It was about dignity. It was about control. The shoemaker who opened his own shop wasn't just a laborer anymore. He was a proprietor. The farmer who owned his land wasn't just a peasant. He was a landowner. They had a stake in the system. They were building something for themselves, for their kids. And as millions of families started to climb this ladder, it created a powerful ripple effect. When regular people have a little extra money, they buy things. They buy better tools, nicer furniture, new clothes. This created a huge domestic market, a giant pool of customers that didn't exist anywhere else. And what do more customers create? More opportunities for new businesses. It was a positive feedback loop, an engine that powered itself. More opportunity created a bigger middle class, and a bigger middle class created more opportunity. This is the part that so many other countries just couldn't replicate. They had elites. They had workers. But they didn't have this giant, dynamic center. Millions of strivers and builders who were both the engine of the economy and its biggest customers.